The Quincy legends posit that the king will take 999 years to return to power. But what does that mean? The Kaiser Gesang is an important element in understanding the strength of the Quincies and speaks of the return of the king of the Quincies after a 999-year dormancy. The Kaiser Gesang serves as a prophecy, accurately predicting the events that have led to the overwhelming strength of the Quincies during the Thousand-Year Blood War. The sealing away mentioned in the Kaiser Gesang likely refers to the actions undertaken by Royal Guard leader Ishib Haisu, who sealed away the name and power of Yuach with his sovereignty over names. The following contains spoilers for Bleach, Thousand-Year Blood, as well as the Can't Fear Your Own World novels by Ryogo Narita. One of the main narrative devices when it comes to the war between the Shinigami and the Quincies is a piece of lore first revealed during the first course of Bleach, Thousand-Year Blood War arc. As we had already known, the two factions went to war long before the events of the series, a fact that left Yuri Ishida with the belief that he was the last Quincy alive. During the first course, Yuri delved into a section of history that had been hidden away from him, history in the form of a diary kept by his master and grandfather, Ken Ishida. Therein, a song or poem passed down through time etched itself into Yuri's memory, and has been repeated a number of times throughout the Thousand-Year Blood War arc, the Kaiser Gesang. What is it, and why is it such an important element in understanding the current strength of the Quincies?
The confined Quincy king regains his pulse after 900 years, his mind after 90 years, his strength after 9 years, and the world in 9 days.
The Kaiser Gesang King's Hymn is an element of Quincy legend that speaks of the return of the king of the Quincies after a 999-year dormancy. Given our understanding that the previous war against the Shinigami was waged 1,000 years ago, in which the Quincies were thoroughly defeated and their leader supposedly killed by Genrisai Yamamoto Shigekuni himself, the Kaiser Gesang is hence a prophetic verse speaking of the return of Yuach. During the first episode of the second course of Bleach, Thousand-Year Blood War, the last 9 days, Yuach asks his new recruit Yuri if he knows the Kaiser Gesang, at which Yuri recites the poem, leaving out the damning final line. One of the first times we hear of the Kaiser Gesang is during episode 12, Everything But the Rain June Truth, during the second half of Ichigo's father, Isshin's explanation of the circumstances of Ichigo's birth and the death of his mother, Masaki Kurosaki, on June 17th, 9 years prior. Isshin explains that Masaki's death was caused by the loss of her powers through the Quincy selection process conducted by Yuach, known as the Auswillen, an incident in which Yuach forcefully absorbed the powers of Quincy's he deemed impure, leaving Yuri Ishida as the sole survivor of the selection. In the case of Masaki, who was an act Quincy, the Auswillen stripped her of her powers during the encounter with the notorious Hollow Grand Fisher, leading to her demise. The Kaiser Gesang has immense significance when it comes to the events that take place during this arc, having served as prophetic insight into the return of the Quincies and Yuach himself. Given its accurate prediction of the events that have led to this point, the final line which reads, "And in the last 9 days, the world," is a chilling addition as it foresees Yuach's victory. The overwhelming strength of the Quincies and their mostly one-sided decimation of the Shinigami during the Thousand-Year Blood War, including the death of Genrisai in combat, give even more credence to the prediction that the king of the Quincies will reclaim the world. During the 1,000 years since their defeat, the Quincies retreated into the shadows of the Syraiadai, slowly amassing their strength in a realm they call the Wandenreich, the Walled Empire. While the sealing away could be interpreted as Yuach's apparent demise in the last war, it very likely refers to the actions undertaken by Royal Guard leader Ishib Haisu, who used his sovereignty over names to seal away the very name of Yuach, and thus significantly undercut his power. The entity that Ichigo once knew as Old Man Zangetsu bore a significant likeness to Yuach due to the fact that he was the manifestation of Ichigo's Quincy powers, not his Shinigami powers. Upon introduction all the way back in the Agent of the Shinigami arc, Old Man Zangetsu attempts to tell Ichigo his name, but he cannot hear it. In the manga, this scene features a notable censor bar over the speech bubble, which has branches reminiscent of binding or the cracks in glass, which W. Perhaps the Kaiser Gesang's reference to the sealed king of the Quincies instead of his name is another consequence of the sealing away of the name. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to the channel, and don't miss the next videos. See you late!